Welcome to Lilybit's Virtual Visions. This is a series of interviews that takes you on a journey through the immersive world of virtual reality. I am your host, Lilybit, Virtualis Rem, but you can call me Lilybit. And I am here to guide you through the landscape where art, technology, and human imagination collide. Each episode will bring you exclusive interviews with visionary creators who are pushing the boundaries of virtual reality. My guests all share a common thread, a passion for harnessing the power of VR to shape new realities and explore the endless possibilities of VR as a platform for creative expression and innovation. So join me. Sit back and let's embark on a journey through the endless possibilities that creative artists and virtual worlds will bring to you. Subscribe today, and together we'll explore the limitless creativity of the virtual reality realm. Hi everybody, I'm Lilybit, and I'm back again with another interview. This time a very good friend of mine, Protuniks, has agreed to give us an interview and talk to us about the things that he likes to do in VR. Thank you very much, Protuniks, for doing this with me.
It's a pleasure. I'm Protuniks. I do world hunting and photography for Instagram, and just as a hobby. And I'm going to talk about that.
Well, thank you again for being here, and I'm really looking forward to asking you some questions because I have been following you on Instagram for a little while, and I do like the sort of places you find the most intricate, really bizarre places out there. So it would be nice to see what your process is. Now, my very first question would be, can you please describe your journey into the world of virtual reality? You know, the exploration of it as well as the content creation. What inspired you to get us started, and how did it all begin?
It all started with Gmod. I used to play a lot of Gmod, just downloading worlds and exploring. I used to like when it had some lore behind it. Sometimes it didn't, but it looked very nice. And I like to immerse myself in it long before having a VR headset or going into VRChat. And the idea of it is finding places that you're not able to find in reality, and that will always give you something to make your horizons expand. For example,
What's the most memorable or captivating virtual reality worlds that you have explored, and what made them stand out to you?
well, one of them will be Terracotta Valley, which is for PC and Quest. I appreciate the fact that you have to actually go and explore to find little lamps that you can only get by getting out of the mirror zone and actually looking at the world as it was made. You think you will be done, but you're not. There's a lot of places, a lot of wacky stuff. I will appreciate if you can also have some gravity bending, but it doesn't. Other than that, it's a very interesting and quite a great experience for Quest and PC. And then there's this PC world that I like a lot. It's called Good Times by Nutao, which is just a good vibe of having a hidden zone in the city with your friends, with a skate park and basketball game like on the side, and then you can go up on the roof and then watch a movie on the projector. It's super nice. I would recommend it a lot.
Thank you very much for those tips. Sounds wonderful. I think I'm going to be exploring some of those for sure. Not the scary ones, but I definitely will be going to some of those worlds. How do you think virtual reality technology is changing the way people consume and interact with the content, social media content, as well as other type, for mainstream. What unique advantages and also what challenges does the VR present compared to traditional media?
Well, I think, for example, on concerts with singers and stuff like that, you can also have virtual reality included into the show, having more people be able to go to places that they cannot go because of probably money or logistics. They can just get on a weekend and be with the other people that are in reality having a party at the show. Actually, there's a lot of conventions that do that already, and they have a big screen showing people in a world in VRChat, dancing and having fun and can interact with the people in real life. In challenges, the problem is that VRChat Meta has these headsets, the Quest 2 and Quest 3. Those are cheap relatively to other options, but still, to have $300 to $500 for the Quest 3 is not something that everybody's going to have. And certainly, a weight on your face is not something that people will like to have for at least like 2 hours. So that is a challenge to overcome to be comfortable with the device.
I understand what you mean, especially because they're usually very well balanced. There seems to be like all the weight is at the front, so you tend to always be sort of leaning forward, and it can be quite a tiring. Yeah, that's true. And the other thing that you mentioned as well about the concert and in places and uh, conferences that you can assist. I know that there are certain DJs in here that they do the stream, but they're in the real world and they're actually broadcasting the sort of VRChat club where they're actually performing at. So it's very interactive. There's a lot of different platforms working together. It can be quite intricate, but it's a lot of fun to be at one of those for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So could you sort of share what a particular challenging or a sort of an immersive experience you've had while exploring virtual reality? Um, how did it impacted you, and how do you believe it may affect other people who will experience it? And I'm sort of asking, in particular, people that maybe haven't really been in virtual reality as much. They're kind of not very familiar with the concept. What do you think? How does that affect them?
Well, for the first time, it could be very overwhelming to have a lot of things happen around you. I would recommend starting slow with probably worlds that are like nature based, um, not something that has a lot of lights and animations everywhere. There are really interesting animated worlds that work as a concert, kind of. Let me see if I can find one. But the the one thing that they have to get over is motion sickness. If they are able to not have motion sickness on VR, or per se mixed reality can also give you motion sickness with the things going around, then they will be able to enjoy VR better. One world that I would recommend to have a good experience will be the name is Aberpier. I'm sure you're gonna put it later on a text in the video, but like Aberpier by Fox Studio is a just an exploring nice world that has some story behind it. You just have to find certain objects that will work as switches that will allow you then to progress forward into another room, and everything is with no voices, no text, nothing. So you make up the story as you go.
regarding the equipment, sort of the tools, or maybe like if there's a particular software that you use, to create the material for VR experiences and sort of the content that you actually post onto social media, are there any specific tips or techniques that you may want to offer, someone who's aspiring to be a VR, virtual reality content creator?
Well, I only use the camera in the game. It has many options, and you can also have different options turn on and off. For example, you can mask people around the world if you don't want people to come into the picture. You can mask yourself if, for example, you're clipping off into the camera. You can also have focus to have an item disfocused or focused into your picture, and always using the grid at the end of the options to locate where everything is going to be, so it could look more professional.
Excellent. Yes, I know what you mean. It does have quite a few options, that's for sure. Um, I noticed the VRChat camera in particular. Yeah, you really need to kind of explore it a bit and play with it to get familiar with all the different settings that they are. It's quite a good thing. Have you ever heard of VR Lens?
Yeah, I heard about it. I tried it, and it didn't work for me. I don't know what I did.
Okay. No, I think it's a fairly heavy program, and not everybody uses it. Excellent. Okay. So, but you don't do any other editing program, for the images afterwards?
I like to present the worlds that I use for my Instagram as is, so people can know what to expect, even on the visual side of it. Because if I use too many um, effects on it, it will completely change the vibe of the world, and I don't like that personally.
Yeah. I totally understand what you're talking about. That's very, very true. Yeah, it makes sense that way. Otherwise, if people see something that it looks like is very sort of altered, when you do see it
Mm-hmm.
in person or when you visit it, you might sort of become a little sort of disappointed if it's not quite exactly what you were expecting. That makes sense. tell me, in your opinion, in what ways do you believe that virtual reality can be used to enhance, for example, things like education, entertainment? I mean, entertainment, there's already a lot of that going on, with games, but, yeah,
Mhm.
education or other aspects of our lives. Can you provide any examples of, maybe personal stories that illustrate that kind of potential?
Well, I think it will be great for studying in virtual reality, for example, medicine, probably surgery, to have a virtual patient instead of a real one offering their body to study, because then you wouldn't have many problems or consequences with real people, as well as probably learning about space. For example, there's a world, it's called Solar System by Nico. And this one shows you every single planet in the solar system. Also shows you how the meteor that struck the dinosaurs, how small it was compared to the Earth, and how it expanded the explosion all over the Earth, basically burning everything. It can also show you what happens with a dying star, and it's a very cool experience as well, to learn a little bit more about outside our world.
Oh, that's excellent. So I guess something like maybe like a children's, like a school, a field trip could be even more accessible to a lot of institutions, like a lot of start again. Well, that's
Mhm.
wonderful. Sounds like something like excursions for children in a sort of school could be something that is more readily available for different schools, uh, because all you have to do is just put a headset and then you're transported to these sort of spaces where with your teacher you are actually exploring in a fairly safe environment. The logistics of it would be a lot easier. You don't have to get kids into a bus and put them at risk of traffic or accidents. It is all done within the school. That's actually a very good point. All right. And so, on that sort of, similar sort of subject, what do you think, as virtual reality, the industry continues to evolve? What are the trends or developments that you feel that are most exciting or promising for the future of VR exploration? And to be, to be able to use these sort of worlds in virtual reality to create social media content. Do you feel that the things are moving in the right way, or there's further developments that maybe you're aware of and trends? Just give us your opinion on that.
Well, I think better would be if we had something that is mixed reality that we can use, looking at a real space and also combine it with virtual stuff, so we can play in terms of like games. When it comes to exploration, totally virtual reality will be the idea. So we can go into, for example, movies, or have a little chat with friends. And while you do that, probably going to like a zoo or something to see virtual animals, not having the issue of going into a safari and being eaten by a tiger. That's a joke. Um, but yeah, it will be better for logistics, as we said before. And I think we're already in a good place with VRChat, and not only VRChat, but there's a there's a new one coming out. I forgot the name of it. I'll tell you which one it is. It's supposed to be a more immersive experience for PC VR players, which allows you to share assets with other people and seemingly change from world to world, as it was Neo's VR before. This one is made by the same people, and they're changing a lot of stuff in it. It's just in early access right now, but it's going to be better for future experiences. But for now, what we have is great, and I would encourage everyone to start trying it if they like virtual reality.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Definitely, I know what you mean. There are quite a few other sort of platforms that are starting to emerge. VRChat is kind of one of the main ones at the moment. Most popular, Neo, which is actually, I believe, has actually closed. But there's also Chill VR. I have actually visited that. It's still not very heavily populated, but it's very, very similar in the context of sort of virtual reality environments for a social media. Not social media, but like yeah, I guess it's a social game where actually, the point of it is to interact with other users and get to know them as
Yeah.
friends. Yeah, excellent. I know what you're talking about because I mean I know the companies like Meta. It used to be of Facebook, but Meta, they are into the Horizon worlds. I'm not familiar with them at all because they're not available in Australia yet. So, but I understand that they're getting quite intricate, and you're able to even not just buy the avatars that you wear, but also merchandise as well. So the virtual reality experience is becoming quite complex, I think. I like to ask you a final question, and I ask everybody that I interview this question at the very, very end. It's got nothing to do with the creativity or anything like that. It's more a bit of the social aspect of virtual reality, in particular, referring to avatars. Now, do you believe that not when you're going traveling and doing your creative work, but more or less like when you're actually in the game socializing? Do you believe that the avatar that a user or a game player selects to wear while they're playing this game tells a lot about their personality and some of their traits? What's your opinion on that?
I will say it's kind of like a symbiosis. There's a thing with virtual reality avatars that happens with your psyche, where you find the one that you like the most and most represent you, but also this avatar has its own personality that your brain is going to give it, and you're going to behave differently from what you behave in real life. So, for example, this one, I feel more like a robot, genderless, right? And since it is not my body, and therefore my brain doesn't feel like it's completely me, I tend to become more excited in terms of my mood and joke a lot and do weird stuff all around. Maybe uh, play a lot with people. But in reality, I completely change the way I am. So again, it's like a symbiosis between your virtual reality avatar and your actual self.
Actually, that's a very good point. I never actually looked at it that way because it's always been about whether you see somebody else wearing a particular type of avatar, you make judgments on them. But the fact that you're talking about how the avatar that you pick, it's not just that you bring a little bit of your personality into it to animate it, but the way the avatar looks, if I understand correctly what you're saying, actually changes your character, your personality while you're in the game, wearing that particular avatar. That's very interesting. That you know what you've got something that's a very good point because it's so true. It gives you some sort of confidence. It gives you the kind of permission to maybe be a little different and explore certain aspects of yourself or your personality that you might otherwise not really, you dare not do in real world situations because there's always consequences. In here, you kind of you're able to do that. Oh, that's a very interesting point. Oh, I'm very excited about that. Yeah. So it my second part of that sort of question is always saying not just whether the avatar that you wear tells something about your personality, but the second part is when you wear a particular avatar, and I'm not sure if you wear or any other kind of avatar. I've always seen you with this one. Um, But if, like, for example, like I do, this is my main avatar kind of. I've got another one as well. It's also kind of, the two of them are my main avatars. But I do have other ones that I have purchased, and some of them that I wear when I'm tired and I want to sort of sleep in VR. And there's reasons why I wear those. And you're right. You're so, oh my God, this is like, you click the switch on my brain, because it's so true. Every time I want to go and sleep in VR, I wear this little cat girl avatar, the purrs, and the purring relaxes me. And I love it. And as soon as I put it on, I feel so relaxed and I just want to cuddle up and sleep. It's so, oh, and her face is, she's a little bit more shy. So it becomes more like what I really am in the real world. I'm a little bit more shy, more sort of vulnerable, and I become more sort of childlike in a way, kind of thing. Oh, yes, you blew my mind with that comment. You really did. That's awesome. So, but the other side of it is, if you change your avatar, does people behave differently towards you? Do they judge you depending on the avatar that you're wearing? Have you noticed anything like that?
Well, I recently have been hanging out in like furry community worlds where if I use this avatar, this is not very friendly, honestly. This is more like a raw shape. Nobody's going to be, hey, I wanna like come down and sit with you, probably go cuddle you with this avatar because it feels weird, it feels hard. In exchange of maybe another avatar I have here, if you can allow me to change.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
There we go.
Ah,
This
yeah.
is more
Yeah, I have
friendly.
seen
It
you.
has a
I
more
have seen you.
friendly face, rounded, more huggable, more approachable.
Softer.
See?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's got
And
more organic
this is
nature
how
to it.
people, exactly. So this is how people probably choose other people in public roles to hang out. To have a more friendly looking avatar is increasing your chances to have a new friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so basically, like, because what I'm interested in your experience is that you have noticed that. That's why you've got the two avatars. One is to, if you want to be more approachable, and the other one is your main avatar. That's why you identify with the most. But you have noticed that people react differently to those two avatars, although they're similar. The differences are enough to make people react differently. Is that right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Yeah, great. Oh, yeah, we covered quite a few things, and it's been really good to get to know you. Please keep up the good work, because as an explorer, you do an amazing job, and I'm always very sort of excited to see where you visited, and look at all the photographs that you do post on social media. Um, Thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview with me. I'm sure anybody that's fairly new to via virtual reality, or thinking about maybe exploring and putting on a headset for the first time, please do. As you can see by my friend Protuniks, you can be very creative in this sort of environment, very creative indeed, and there's lots of things to do. And you can really mold your personality and bring aspects of what you want to do or be, or experiment with the becoming something like a robot, for example, or in this case, a very cuddly robot that has got a bit of sort of human tendencies. The scarf, the horns, is sort of organic features to it. It's all very exciting. Protuniks, thank you so much for doing this with me.
It's been a pleasure, and I will happily do it again.
Definitely. Yes, we need to.
That's awesome.
Oh, the magazine. Yeah. It's a click on magazine. Definitely. We'll have to get you together again, and have a chat and see how you're going, and tell us more about all these wonderful worlds. But for now, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and watching.
Hey, Protuniks and I here. Thank you for watching. See you around.
Remember to subscribe today and turn on your notifications. If you would like to join me on my next interview. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.